Welcome to Movie Story Short, where we summarize films in just a few minutes. Today, we're diving into the intense and gripping world Plemya. Get ready for a dark journey into the criminal underworld, where survival is the only law. This film will challenge your expectations of storytelling and human connection. Let's dive into it. Plemya introduces us to Sergei, a teenage boy who arrives at a specialized boarding school for the deaf. Set in a grim, isolated environment, the school has its own strict hierarchy and culture, where the students communicate through Ukrainian Sign Language. Sergei's arrival is met with a cold reception, and he quickly learns that the school is not just a place of learning, but a brutal microcosm of society's darkest impulses. The school operates on a strict code of conduct and power dynamics, with the older students in charge. Sergei is immediately thrust into this complex world, where the students are divided into groups with distinct territories and areas of influence. At first, Sergei is an outsider, struggling to understand the rules of this harsh social system. However, he soon finds himself drawn into the activities of the tribe that dominates the school, led by a powerful and intimidating figure named Roman. The film's narrative unfolds through Sergei's eyes as he becomes both an unwilling participant and a growing force in the world around him. As Sergei navigates this dangerous landscape, he becomes increasingly aware of the tribe's involvement in criminal activities. The students run a variety of illegal businesses, from smuggling goods to more sinister dealings. The hierarchical structure is rigid, and power is maintained through fear and violence. Sergei's most significant encounter is with a young woman named Anya, who becomes the object of his desire. Anya is part of the tribe, but also a victim of its cruel and manipulative practices. Her situation is dire, as she is used and exploited by the older students in a way that reflects the pervasive violence and control that runs throughout the school. Despite the brutal system in place, Sergei is drawn to Anya, and their interactions lead to a complicated relationship. The film portrays Sergei's growing internal conflict as he begins to question the morality of the world he has entered. While he is initially passive and submissive, the tension builds as he witnesses the horrific treatment of his peers and becomes entangled in the power struggles around him. As Sergei gains influence, he also becomes increasingly ruthless, mirroring the very cruelty that he once resisted. The emotional weight of this transformation is felt deeply, as the audience watches a young man who is caught between his own morals and the survival instincts that the harsh environment demands. Throughout the film, Plemya uses silence to emphasize the isolation and dehumanization of the characters. The absence of spoken language allows the film to communicate powerfully through gestures, expressions, and body language, creating a visceral experience for the audience. The violence in the film is raw and unapologetic, often unsettling, and the story makes no attempt to soften the brutal reality of the characters' lives. In a climactic turn of events, Sergei is forced to make a choice that will forever alter his fate and Anya's. The decisions he makes lead to a dramatic and tragic conclusion that leaves no room for redemption. As Sergei sinks deeper into the world of violence and betrayal, the audience is left to question the cost of survival and the lengths people will go to in order to belong and exert control over their circumstances. Plemya ends on a haunting note, with Sergei's journey concluding in an open-ended manner, leaving the audience to reflect on the dark world he inhabits and the choices he made. It's a stark, challenging look at power, manipulation, and the consequences of living in a world where survival is the ultimate goal. The lack of dialogue, combined with the unflinching portrayal of human brutality, makes the film a deeply emotional and thought-provoking experience. And here we end the movie. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video.